Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. I had to restart my computer. Welcome to part 3 of this episode, which now is definitely going to be called Technical Difficulties. Where did we leave off before I was booted into oblivion?
I was showing Nox the book, so she could read it in Common for everybody, since I read it out in Undercommon, because that's what I understand.
So I read the passage out loud, which the human Finn forgot what it was. It was seek the handful of dawn at the coast, right?
Yep.
Seek the man with the handful of dawn at the coast, or something, right?
What was it?
No, it was just seek the handful of dawn at the coast.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. So Nox read that out loud in Common, and then she handed the book back to Dhuur'in.
You see, I have to go.
So this is what's told you to go to the coast?
This man, yes. It has been the same voice since the dash.
She kind of thinks for a second. She also thinks about the voice that she heard, which she heard again recently as it woke her up, but she isn't going to divulge that right now. It doesn't really seem relevant, so she taking a page out of Gesh's book in that regard.
Okay. Okay, I see how it is.
And she just sort of nods and says, well, perhaps this new development is an indication that we are nearing whatever it is that you have been called to seek, Dark One.
Maybe so. But I feel as if it is leading me astray from... And I kind of look at my lovely skin book. I hold it a little closer.
Nox just kind of looks at both of them, and then she looks away and she says, well, one of those books didn't hit me in the face, so I think you should try that one.
From this is where I draw my power and my purpose.
It's very deep. Ozla.
Right. And with that conversation coming to an end, suddenly you all hear Fenkin shouting from outside the tent. Wake up!
He ran into the tent, and he didn't have enough time to really look around before he actually yelled. He was like, "Wake up! Oh, you're awake."
He just sees the complete disarray and Ozla on a fucking table.
And Fenkin is unusually pale, and you can tell that he is not in a very good state of mind, if you're perceptive.
Nox, Ozla apparently isn't.
No, Ozla is sure not.
Did she wake up from him yelling?
Perception
Maybe.
check, Ozla.
Oh god.
Yay! Oh, I don't have a light. Oh well. 7.
Oh god.
8 again.
Oh my god. She's never gonna wake up. She's dead.
She died, bro. She failed a saving throw.
The drown's got her. She's gone.
Yeah, the drown.
I'll go over and start, shaking her really hard. You must wake!
And as Dhuur'in starts shaking her, Princess also scurries into the room, scurries up over to, Ozla's head, sitting on her back. He, drums his little raccoon hands on her forehead to, wake her up.
She's like, hello? Hi, dear. In.
And Ozla, as you wake up, the entire tent is a mess. Blankets and pillows and everything are just strewn about everywhere.
Shut up! As she looks around the room and everything, she leans up and she's like, you're in that half thing, you're just like, They're trying to get into wake. She does that and she looks around, and for a second she's like, what the fuck? And then the next one is, did I sleepwalk?
No, I ruined things.
Ruined? Ruined?
It was my fault.
Wow, what did you do?
Floated, apparently.
Fenkin sort of interrupts them. He's like, because he was quiet for a second because he was just so caught off guard by everything that he just kind of let the conversation happen. And it was like, enough of that. We don't have time. We have to leave now.
Why? That's in character, by the way. Why? I was actually yawning.
It was at this moment Em realized, wait, what is Fenkin gonna say?
I have these business spells because I'm very feverish, so my brain just kind of process first. Wait, give me a minute. Okay, yeah, so he sort of starts like stressing around in the tent, trying to like pick up things that seem important, even though they may not be so important. He like picks up a silver spoon here, the blanket here. He's just in a state of complete disarray and chaos, almost as bad as the tent. And he's just like, we can't stay here, we have to go, it's dangerous here.
It is dangerous everywhere. What has startled you?
There's a creature in the forest.
The one with the wings?
Did you see it?
I saw the drawing.
The drawing on the rock you mentioned earlier?
Oh, we're drawing now.
There was a drawing on the rock. It was a warning.
Okay, right. Anyway, we can't stay here. There's a creature... A creature who highly resembles... I don't know. I don't know what it resembles. I couldn't see well. It was dark. And frightening and dirty. Anyway, there's a creature in the woods with large wings and we have to leave now.
As this is happening, you guys kind of realize that trailing everywhere, Fenkin is just kind of like leaving behind this trail of like weird gray dust.
You are dirty.
Hey!
Wow, rude.
I go and like puff my hand on his shoulder and it's
And the clouds just popped out.
Yeah, there's this like little detonation of like,
Ew.
and it's very light stuff. So
That's cool, Fenn.
And he sort of coughs. He coughs a bit and it's like, don't breathe it in. I don't know what that is.
I already breathed.
He's just, as you can tell, even though he should know what it is, he's just in a complete state of panic at this point. And then he sort of realizes that no one is taking him seriously and moving, so he just sort of drops everything on the floor and he just like, takes a breath. As I was guarding the tent, I heard noises, and Princess rushed away into the woods on his own. So I followed him, and what I stumbled upon was a terrible, terribly gruesome scene. There was this creature, very large, larger than Lizard Man over there, with wings. I think it might be related to a moth, but a giant moth. A moth-man or something. It was crunching down on a deer, and it noticed me, but luckily it just flew away. But anyway, we can't stay here any longer.
It did not attack you.
When it noticed me, I couldn't move. I was so overcome by the mere presence of this creature that I couldn't move. It could very well have chosen to kill me on the spot, but instead it flew away. I do not know why.
Nox has been sitting. She has not made any effort to move even a little bit, as Fenkin has been running around trying to gather things up. She's just been sitting there, and she kind of looks at him and she says, "After everything that we have fought, a large moth has you in this state of fear?"
I know what it sounds like, but you did not see it. Tell me, Tabaxi, have you ever seen a moth bigger than a dragonborn, bigger than an orc, crunching down on a animal?
No, but I am not a deer, so I am not that inclined to be afraid of it.
And I am not that inclined to stay here and put myself in danger.
We should not go another night without rest. Perhaps we can cloak our sleeping space.
How'd you do that?
Camouflaged amongst the trees.
Nox kind of stretches her arms and says, "To be honest, I am curious about this creature now that the skinny one has described it so. So what if we take care of the problem and go and find it?"
Oz, from where she's still like laid back on the table, she just like put one hand up. I'm in.
As he hears this, Fenkin looks visibly distraught. Like the very idea of seeing or approaching this creature again is sending him into a panic. He's very rigid, he's drenched in cold sweat, he's very pale, his eyes are darting around the room as if he's looking at lunatics.
Oh no.
But he doesn't say a word, because they're not willing to listen to him anymore.
Can I say that after Oz like says I'm in, she sort of like clambers off the table and she looks at Fenkin, and whenever she sees Fenkin upset, she gets upset as well. But she's obviously in that little sleep space, so she's not even really registering. She just knows that something's not right, and because of how it's like a little thing with her when someone's upset. So she walks up to Fenkin and she just like, she's still like wobbling, she's still like mid-sleep. But when she reaches him, she just like grabs his hand and like gives it a little squeeze. Yep, a little.
Hello, hand.
Little hands. Just to let him know she's there.
Fenkin looks down at her, and she can probably feel that his hand is unusually cold. Like it's drenched in like cold sweat. But he doesn't really hug it back, he just sort of like nods at her a little, and then lets out a small sigh as he sort of resigns himself to his fate.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, poor guy.
Nothing's going right for him.
He's a scaredy boy! To Fenkin, meeting the unknown isn't terrifying, it's being rendered unable to fight back that scares him so much.
Oh.
So that's why he's so traumatized by this experience.
Aww. Fair.
Because as long as he can fight back, he's okay.
Right. Oh.
When he takes hold of her hand as well, she sort of like leans up against his shoulder and she's like, it's like she's trying to sneak a little sleep in. But she's like, if you don't want to go, you don't have to.
I will not let you go alone. Not to face that thing. No matter how terrified he is, he's not gonna let her go and face it alone, or even like with the rest of the group. He's coming.
Aww. Maybe you scared it away.
You did not seem frightened of me. In fact, I am still in a bit of shock that it noticed me at all.
Yeah, you're usually pretty sneaky.
You interrupted a creature while it feeds. I know too well the startle.
Oh!
Mm.
I don't know. I can't describe it, but there's something off about it that I do not like at all.
And as if on cue, there's a sharp snoring sound, and you guys all kind of like whip around to see that to see that Princess is like belly deep in the rations bag and asleep.
She's having a great time.
Well, he calmed down fast.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I think we should continue to rest and continue to take watch and cloak our sleeping space so that it cannot be seen from above.
Ah! Don't turn off.
Nox was she's kind of gotten up at this point, and she pauses and considers for a second, and she says, "Very well. If you would rather stay here and hope it doesn't see us, I think that is fair. But if we are in its hunting grounds, I think we have the choice to be its prey or not. And I would rather choose not to."
Mm.
We will strike true should we need to.
I will not be getting any more sleep tonight.
You should try. You are exhausted.
If you insist on staying here and going back to sleep, I will continue taking the shift. Because I will not be able to sleep.
No.
I'm just imagining Gesh, like, as soon as Fenkin says, "I can't sleep," he walks up and does, like, a monk thing, hits him in the back of the neck, and he's just like, "No,
Good night.
Good night, sweet prince.
It's like, no. I'll take the watch for me. And then he just goes to he goes to walk outside and look around, make sure nothing's near the tent.
I will.
As you guys step out of the tent, there's nothing like in the immediate vicinity. You do see a deer kind of like, and it like prances away.
I want to camouflage the tent.
Okay. If that's what you and Gesh are doing, go ahead and give me a. Oh, everybody froze. Technical difficulties
Connor?
is the name of the episode.
Oh well.
Getting real goddamn tired of these Wi-Fi shenanigans.
Survival or nature check?
Survival check.
Oh, for both of us then?
Yeah, sure. Look, I have a little ascot.
17!
In the meantime, Fenkin will sort of go into a corner of the tent and like pull a blanket around himself, but he will sit and almost tremble a little bit.
Alright.
Unnatural 20.
Okay, so
Cool.
you guys are able to find like plenty of stuff to cover the tent with. You find branches and trees, and you're able to make it up in
Just
such
grab
a
a
way.
whole tree.
You're able to make it up in such a way that like the tent blends in perfectly, especially from like a vision above. Princess is out there helping you too. Like he comes along with like little pebbles in his hand every now and then, and, goes, and then goes off to like find more. But
Does this even need sleep?
eventually, the tent is fully camouflaged and ready to go.
I think he said it was moth-like. We should douse the flame.
Oh my god, we have that ball of light. I just remembered it from like the very first episode.
I was wondering why you guys haven't been using that.
Huh?
We haven't needed it.
Yeah.
You went through a mausoleum of death.
We didn't need it. I have superior
Yeah.
dark vision. I'm never gonna think about it.
And that's true as well.
Yeah.
So, you kind of fucked up there.
Most of us can see in the dark.
I can't.
Except Ozla.
I'll
Should hold Fenkin's hand.
I'm stamping out our fire. We're just gonna have to huddle for warmth. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, there's only
Gesh
two
is
sleeping bags.
cold-blooded. Oh no.
Oh, how terrible.
Also, this feels like a concept straight out of a cliche B-horror movie. A bunch of weird people camping in a tent. There's moth-men outside. Things are getting steamy and people levitating.
I'm just imagining like Dhuur'in's just like, oh no, there's only one sleeping bag, and Gesh holds up
Oh,
another
no.
one, like, no, we got one, and he like eldritch blasts it in his hand.
Oh no!
Oh no.
There really is only one sleeping bag.
So yeah, what are you guys doing? So now that the tent is all fastened and secured and camouflaged, what are you guys doing?
I stamp out the fire and I make sure my hood is pulled up so that my glowing eyes don't alert anything in the sky. And then I'll just sit my ass down.
Yeah, as soon as Ozla has to go ahead to fall back asleep again, she just straight out, like facing the dirt.
Yeah, I guess you're just going to sit next to Dhuur'in, take a cursory glance to the sky, and then just sit and wait.
All right. And
I would like to say really quickly, just to say that Nox, at least for the beginning of the night, she did take out her lute and play a little bit of quiet music.
okay, that's perfect because as the lute begins to play, Dhuur'in, in the back of your head, you hear a voice, and it begins to sing along with the lute playing.
Spooky.
Uh-oh.
On the golden road, on the golden road, walking my last load, walking my last load, under a sun I'll never see again, under a sun I'll never see again. And you recognize this voice as the exact same one from your dream.
I touch my amulet of Halor.
All right. And with that, we're gonna end today's game there.
What? Before your internet explodes.
Oh.
And next game, you guys will be making your way into the town of Allfield.
Ho ho! Moth-man.
Fully